Go! Go! I have something to fix. So, it would appear that I do not have a horn. Is the horn working? Yes. Let's move on. First thing to check is the fuse. We're under the hood now. We're going to go ahead and pop that off and throw it over there. So I have it laid out in the same orientation. So this is our horn relay. You can see that there. And there's a couple ways of doing this, but this is what I do. So there's no obvious burn marks. With that out, there's no obvious burn marks. I'm going to drop it for now and take the next one out and move it over. We're going to switch that. Looks like that was for the lighting relay. So let's see if that worked. And that did not work. So let's check the fuse. So I believe these fuses are going to be good, but if you need to, it's good methodology there. That's what a good fuse connection looks like. You can see that little wire inside. If it was bad, that would be black and it would be broken. But there's two right here, right below the relay. There's one for each side, it looks like, actually. And you can see there, this fuse is good as well. So we're now back under the hood. I'm now going to disconnect the battery here with the negative terminal. This is a 10mm bolt, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to have to test the clock spring or roll connector to see if it's good. So looks like a 10mm bolt there. Just like that. Now would be a great time to clean up these terminals as well. Okay, so it's been about a half hour. The car is now completely dead. Battery's disconnected. We're going to start this hole here. Oh, this is going to be so hard to show. We've got a long flathead screwdriver. We're going to use that to remove the airbag here. There's no actual screws. They're just held in by clips. I'll show what that looks like. That part there that I'm trying to focus on is the goal. So we're going to go ahead and hit that in the same as before. Did you see what I just did? Same thing here. So, got a little frustrated, ended up getting a different screwdriver. You can see here, was actually a little easier time. But where I'm at right here is where you want to push. And there you go. That's 2 out of 3. It should now be fairly loose. Let's go ahead and get that last one. The last one's going to be exactly opposite of the steering wheel of the last one. So there's going to be one here, one here, and one here. And I'll get another clip of what that looks like, so that you have an idea of kind of what you're trying to do. This is what the inside of the mechanism looks like. So you're just trying to push that out of the way. And when you do, it will release these pins right here. From there, we're going to go ahead and remove the airbag. Again, make sure you've had the car off for a while before you touch any of this. You don't want one of these to blow up in your face. So remove this clip. This is a ground wire. We'll go ahead and remove it. This little ground wire was actually on there pretty taut. I ended up needing needle nose for it, but you might be able to get it off by hand. These little guys have little safety clips. Like that. This is a little pick tool I have. I think I got a 4-pack at Harbor Freight for $1, but you could probably use a flathead screwdriver in a pinch just as easily. And then we'll go ahead and pry these out. And your airbag is out of there. Hooray! The hard part's over. Now, a smart person would have put their steering wheel straight up and down before they did this. However, I never said I was a smart person, so I'm going to go ahead and mark the center there, and that. And actually, I think I want to get a black Sharpie because that's not working. So I marked with the silver Sharpie, and that was a bad idea, but I'm going to go ahead and mark with a blue Sharpie this time. And I'm just going to mark top dead center on the steering wheel, the bolt here for the steering knuckle, and the nut itself. And that's all lined up pretty well. Yeah, that's lined up good. So, next up we're going to go ahead and remove... Ooh, I shouldn't mark on it, huh? Next up we're going to go ahead and remove this nut. It is a 17 millimeter. I only marked the nut really for kind of torque purposes, but... okay. We'll go ahead, remove this. This is the steering wheel control. We'll remove this one. This is more of the steering wheel stuff. That goes there. This right here that I'm touching is the clock spring that we're trying to get to. That's why we're doing all this. And that'll be out of the way. So and that's what we're after all that. There's two little Phillips screws here and here. I've already removed this one. I'm trying to use this screwdriver that's too small. It's a number 1 Phillips. I should be using a number 2, but hey, it works. We'll go ahead and remove that, and then we'll take this cover off. Ta-da! And this one does the same. Might just leave him there. It's not in the way. And oh, up here there's a little clippy. I'm just gonna actually, yeah, I can just pull that one out. So that one's loose up there. Oh, this one here, and one on the other side. And oh, you know what? We're going to go ahead and remove these connectors down here. Airbag connectors are always fun, and this one is no different. The first step to do is to push this pin here. Can you see that? Push that up. Then, with that up, we push this part in. So, it's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult to do this on camera. Hopefully that looked good. And for that last connector, there's just a tab to hit in the back. You can do that by hand. There's just this tab to hit back here. You can do that by hand pretty easy. All this work. And this is what we wanted. So, with the clock spring now out, I've gone ahead and I've taped just some masking tape here in the same position that it was in. This is to prevent it from overturning while we're working on it here. But what we want to do is go ahead and check for the horn connection on this, which I had it up on the schematic just now. So you'll need a connectivity tester. I'm just using my multimeter here with the power button backwards. On is off and off is on, whatever. So how that works, can you hear that? That's going to be the sound we're looking for, And then we're going to check the pin for the horn on this connector here, and then this connector down here. So I've got this little connector stabbed into this connection on the airbag side. You can see that with the wires. It looks like it's the very top right for the steering wheel horn connection. And if we flip it over to the other side of the clock spring, I'm trying to get a good shot of that there. I'm touching every pin. And we're not getting a connection. So I do believe somehow this unit has failed, but just on the horn, which is a really odd failure. But I'm going to go ahead and test it with a new one. There is the part number. And immediately you can see that that connection works. Yeah. So we have a bad clock spring. So because I don't have any VDC lights or anything coming on, I'm going to assume this steering angle sensor is still good. So we're just going to transfer it over to that one. Looks like these just pop out. This might be easier. And there's our little sensor. We're going to clip it onto the back of the new one. If you look closely at this original piece here, there's some lube grease there on the, oops, let's keep that intact for now. If you buy the original equipment, which actually I really doubt there's an aftermarket of this, but it does come with some new grease, so let's go ahead and put some on. You know what, I'm just going to apply liberally. So I think there's a bird in my garage. Now why they included this much grease, I have no idea, but throw it in a drawer and in a couple years it'll dry out and then you'll throw it away. There's a little tab there, it just breaks off and allows it to spin. I'm then going to match the angle as close as I can and put on some tape just to hold it in place, because this can overspin, and if you do, it'll break. Realistically, I'd say the best idea is to center the steering wheel, but I didn't do that, so let's see if it works. Okay, I've gone ahead and removed the tape for now. In fact, I shouldn't need it. I'm just going to go ahead and press that in, just like that. And we're going to start putting these connections in. The airbag does take a lot to bring out, but it doesn't take a lot to put back in. Go ahead. We'll pop this down there. This one we want to kind of slide up and over. We'll go ahead and put these two Phillips screws in. Since these Phillips screws are metal going into plastic, a good habit is to get them in and get them threaded, but do not thread them correctly. Let me show you what I mean. So put them in and go backwards until you hear it click like that, and then send it home. Doing this keeps it from digging a new set of threads every time you do it, and it's a good technique to try to maximize the life of that plastic in there. And with the proper size screwdriver, we'll go ahead and tighten it down. Do the same for here. Now make sure your clock spring is in the right space, and we'll get the wheel back on. To do that, I'm going to thread these through the top there for the airbag. And then remember those lines we made? Make sure they're lined up. Go ahead and hook up this small connection. We'll hook up this larger connection. We've still got the dual charge airbags, and I believe this is the horn. I called it the ground earlier, but I think actually that's what the horn is, because the horn is in the airbag. I definitely should have put the steering wheel straight. Too late now. And there's the first connection. These airbag connectors are color coded. The airbag connectors are color coded, so we can just push them on, and you just sort of push it in. Let's hook up the negative battery terminal and see if we have a horn now. Clean your terminals, Brucey. I can't believe you don't clean your battery terminals. Alright, I did some wipe off this a little bit, but I'm not going for super clean. Go ahead, tighten it down. Again, this is a 10 mil. Okay. Move! Well, hope this video helps somebody. Thanks for watching.